What's going on, everybody? How you doing today? My name is Chris Tarwater, and I am living outside normal. We are getting started today on Proverbs 18. It's probably around 6 o'clock here. Yep, 6:15. Excuse me, 6:15 on Tuesday evening. I'm going to get started doing Proverbs 18 and say thank you for coming by. Continuing this month's review of the Proverbs. We're reading a proverb every day. Today is the 22nd, so I'm a few days behind and I'm trying to catch up. But didn't know if you knew it, but we are indoors today. It's been raining for the last 2 days. There's a tropical storm that's hit the Gulf Coast and it's coming across Texas. So we are watching the water and making sure it's not rising in the street. But we're taking precautions. So anyway, I hope you're doing well, and let's go ahead and get started. So we are on Proverbs 18, verse 1. I got my tablet today, and I'm reading the NIV. An unfriendly person pursues selfish ends, and against all sound judgments starts quarrels. An unfriendly person pursues selfish ends. Have you ever met somebody who is unfriendly? Most of the time it's because they've got an idea of what they want to see happen in any given situation. Most of the time they're very narrow-minded, they're very one side, and it's usually selfish. So it says, and against all sound judgment starts quarrels. A lot of times when people are argumentative, it seems like everything you try to talk to them about, they're just argumentative. If you've ever encountered someone like that out on the street, just bless them and move on your way. Even in your own family, there's no need. Yesterday we talked about cutting off, taking control of a situation. If it begins to escalate, you take control of it and make peace. Just cut it off. Verse number 2, fools find no pleasure in understanding, but delight in airing their own opinions. That's a good one. Fools find no pleasure in understanding. A foolish person, a foolish person will never try to understand another person. In a relationship, a lot of people say it's give and take, right? They say some give, some take. The reality is a relationship in the kingdom, we just give. We don't take, we give. Like, when did Jesus take? He didn't, he gave. He gave with no expectation to get back. But a fool finds no pleasure in understanding. In other words, the foolish person doesn't want to get to know you. The foolish person doesn't want to get to know who you are. He doesn't delight in other people. But he delights in airing his own opinion. Most of the time, foolish people think they're right all the time. But as we've noticed in other Proverbs, there is a way that seems right to a man, but the end thereof is destruction. Verse 3, when wickedness comes, so does contempt, and with shame comes reproach. I looked up that word reproach. Hold on. The word contempt is the feeling that a person or thing is beneath consideration, worthless, or deserving scorn. Reproach, let me read to you what that means. Definition of reproach is to address someone in such a way as to express disapproval. So that's saying that when wickedness comes, so does contempt. Contempt means looking down on someone. And with shame comes reproach. That's interesting. The words of the mouth are deep waters, but the fountain of wisdom is a rushing stream. The words from the mouth are deep waters. What does that mean? Question mark. The words of the mouth are deep waters, meaning deep waters you can't see, you can't understand, they'll go really deep. Words can go really deep, but we're called to be a river, a flowing river. Like It says out of our bellies, the scripture says out of our bellies will flow rivers of living water, because the fountain of wisdom is a rushing stream. Wisdom is always flowing. Wisdom is not something that you can get lost in, right? So rivers is something that's always flowing with life. Big pools and puddles of water, like the ocean. It's a lot of water, but it's very, very deep. Does that make sense? Verse 5. It is not good to be partial to the wicked, and so deprave the innocent of justice. In other words, don't be partial to wicked people. Don't befriend wicked people for the sake of condemning another. Like, we're supposed to minister to wicked people. We're supposed to love wicked people because we're supposed to love our enemies. However, don't deprive the innocent of justice. If there's a wicked person taking advantage of another person, stand in for that, for the innocent person. Hopefully that makes sense. Verse 6, the lips of a fool brings them strife, and their mouths invite a beating. That's self-explanatory. Lips of a fool brings them strife, and their mouths invite a beating. The mouths of fools are their undoing, and their lips are a snare to their very lives. The mouths of fools are their undoing, and their lips are a snare to their very lives. The words of a gossip are like choice morsels. They go down to the inmost parts. Excuse me. You think of choice morsels as being sweet, like I think of like chocolate chips, right? Little chocolate chip cookies, little chocolate chips. It's real sweet to the taste. Well, it's saying that words of a gossip. Have you ever heard real good, juicy gossip? That's not good. We're not supposed to gossip. We're not supposed to backbite and talk about people. But it's like they go down, like a lot of people when they start to gossip, they want to hear it. People they delight in other people's misery. It says, one who is slack in his work is brother to the one who destroys. Let me make it clear. We're not supposed to gossip. We're actually supposed to pray for people when we know that they're struggling. The words of a gossip are like choice morsels. They go down to the inmost parts. So what is it like when you get too much of a good thing? Makes you sick, right? The one who is slack in his work is brother to the one who destroys. The name of the Lord is a fortified tower. The righteous run to it and are safe. Proverbs 18:10. The King James says, the name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous run into it and are safe. The wealth of the rich is their fortified city. They imagine it a wall too high to scale. Let me say that again. The wealth of the rich is their fortified city. Why? Because the wealthy people are counting on their riches. They're putting their money they're putting their faith and their hope and their tomorrows in their wealth and their money, right? They imagine it a wall too high to scale. Meaning, so many people, when they are wealthy and they have a lot of money, they think higher of themselves than others. That's what they do. Before a downfall, the heart is haughty, but humility comes before honor. Before the downfall, the heart is haughty. A number of years ago, I had what I thought was a pretty good position in a career. And it was a place that I thought I was looked upon with, I'll just be honest, I was proud of what I had accomplished. And so my heart was haughty. It was proud, it was boastful. And I thought of myself as something in some sort of a position of authority. But I'll tell you, I got knocked down pretty quick. I did it myself, but I got knocked down pretty good, down to the very, 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 very bottom. And I realized that it wasn't about the position I held. I realized it was about who I was in Jesus and what Jesus had done for me, that I was worthy and that I was worth his blood. Like he said, Chris, I love you and I'm willing to go to the cross for you. So when I realized that, it humbled me. And so humility comes before honor. If someone's going to honor you, let them honor you. don't honor yourself. So I'm learning that when I get to, like, in my thoughts, I put myself in a position to where I'm below people. I mean, literally, when I talk to children, I get down on my knees and get eye level with them, or even a little bit lower. I posture myself there, not as to think higher of myself, but actually to get down to where the child doesn't have to look up, that they're actually looking directly in my eyes, or they're looking kind of down to me a little bit. Because when you lord over someone and you're up here, it's like you've raised yourself up. A lot of times when you go into, like, the boss's office, he's sitting up in a chair that's usually higher than the chair that's in front of him. Like, if he has chairs in front of his desk, they're usually lower. That's so that there's a place of authority. It's like kings, their throne would be up high, so that they'd be looking down at the subjects. So anyway, or whatever that's for. To answer before listening, that is folly and shame. Have you ever been talking to someone and you gave an answer before they finished saying what they were saying? It says to answer before listening, that is folly and shame. The human spirit can endure in sickness, but a crushed spirit, who can bear it? The human spirit can endure in sickness. A lot of people are people who are who have been sick and come through a sickness, or someone who lives a life of sickness. The reality is, as long as their spirit is kept up and it's not downtrodden, they can endure it. They're very strong people. Like people who are terminally ill, they're trying to survive. And in that sickness, if you keep encouraging them, they can keep their spirits up. But a crushed spirit, if somebody crushes your spirit, who can bear? That's not a good thing. The Lord can heal you, but that's hard when you see someone who's just in agony and frustrated and angry. And most of the time, people who are negative people have a crushed spirit. The heart of the discerning acquires knowledge, for the ears of the wise seek it out. That's a good one. The heart of the discerning acquires knowledge. Those who are going after knowledge have a heart that's discerning, right? Sorry, excuse me. The ears of the wise seek it out. What do they seek out? Knowledge. They want to understand. They want to come to a place of knowledge and understanding. Why? So that they can minister to others, so they can love others. Isn't that what God did? He sent Jesus to become a man. Like, he didn't know what it was like to be a man. He didn't know what it was like to come through the womb of a woman and have to grow and learn how to walk and learn how to sit up. That's what Jesus did. So love will do what? It will acquire knowledge. Wise ears will seek out knowledge. A gift opens the way and ushers the giver into the presence of the great. 16. A gift opens the way and ushers the giver into the presence of the great. Anytime you give somebody a gift, it brings them happiness, right? It opens a door, like, to relationship. It brings them into a great situation with the one who's getting the gift. Somebody gave me a Bible. His name is Chris and Lorena, both. I found out who sent me my Bible and my books for my birthday. But it opened up my heart. I mean, it was amazing. They did it and they didn't have to, but they did it, and it so blessed my heart. So it opened me up to receive a great gift. That makes sense? Casting the lot settles disputes and keeps strong opponents apart. Back in this day, when this was written, they used to have what they called lots. You cast lots. It was like drawing straws or rolling the dice or saying the highest number guessed wins or whatever. But it was like leaving things to chance. So casting a lot settles disputes and keeping strong opponents. It keeps strong opponents apart. If you got two people that are in an argument and you draw straws and the one who has the longest straw wins, it's leaving it to chance. A brother wronged is more unyielding than a fortified city. Disputes are like barred gates of a citadel. A brother wronged is more unyielding than a fortified city. Disputes are like barred gates of a citadel. Now, I didn't know what a citadel was, so I looked it up. A citadel is a fortress, typically on high ground, protecting or dominating a city. So it's a fortress. And it's saying, oops, I lost it. Disputes are like the barred gates of a fortress. So if you have a gate that's barred, you can't even get through it. So it's saying a brother that is wronged. Don't wrong your brother. He'll close up. If you ever lost a friend will cut you off. So make peace. Love your brothers. Love your enemies too. From the fruit of their mouth, a person's stomach is filled. With the harvest of their lips, they are satisfied. The tongue has the power of life and death. Listen, the tongue has the power of life and death. Is life and death held in the tongue? No. The tongue has the power of life and death. Do you hear that? So you can love people by your words, or you can hate people, cast people into hell, cast people into death. You can destroy people with your tongue. The power of life and death is in the tongue. And those who love it will eat of its fruit. I say all the time, may you eat of the fruit of your own lips as you speak life over yourself and over others. Why? Because Jesus said, my words are spirit and they're life. So if we're speaking life over someone, then we're depositing a seed of a word, and Jesus is the word, right? So there is that ability that he's given us. The power of life and death are in the tongue, and those who love it will eat of its fruit. Love it, meaning being kind with them. You will eat good fruit by the words that you speak. And the same for negative words. You'll eat fruit that you don't want to eat. He who finds a wife finds what is good and receives favor from the Lord. I love that scripture. I'm going to highlight it in pink. He who finds a wife finds what is good and receives favor from the Lord. When Loretta and I met, we were in a working type situation. She was working for one company, I was working for another, so there was no interaction. However, over a year later, the Lord opened a door and an opportunity for us to meet in a different type situation, and I married her. It was quick. It was a quick marriage, but it's been very fruitful, and it's been very, very good. He who finds a wife finds what is good. She is good for me, and I receive flavor. I receive favor from the Lord. Verse 23, the poor plead for mercy, but the rich answers harshly. The poor pleads for mercy. When we're poor in spirit, we plead for mercy because we understand we need it. But the rich answer harshly. Most of the time, rich people they're not very kind. And I mean rich people who are real rich, because they're really, really all about keeping their wealth. They're all about keeping their money. And they pretty much set themselves up higher than you and me. So I don't ever want to be like that. Verse 24. One who has unreliable friends soon come to ruin. But there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother. But there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother. Remember yesterday we talked about in chapter 17, there is one that was born. A brother was born for the day of adversity, but a friend loves at all times. And Jesus called us friends. He also calls us brothers. However, one who has unreliable friends soon come to ruin. But there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother. That's chapter 18, verses 1 through 24. Proverbs chapter 18. After this, I'm going to move on to something else. I don't know if I can do a video every single day because it does take some time. However, I do a Bible study every day, so I'm wondering what to do next. This is chapter 18, so we've got another 13 chapters to go, I guess. But after this, if you have an idea of a book you would like to study, comment below. If this is your first time visiting my channel, I hope you enjoyed it. Hope it blessed you. Hope you found something. If you have any testimonies or prayer requests, you can email me at livingoutsidenormal@gmail.com. But if you have some suggestions on where we need to go from here after Proverbs, I would love to be able to move on. If I don't get any answers, then I'm probably going to start. I'm working on some things, on some ideas on what to move on to next. But anyway, if you have any suggestions, please comment below. Please consider subscribing. Give me a thumbs up. Share the video, and you can select the little bell so every time I post a video, you'll get a notification. So anyway, may the Lord bless you and keep you. May He bless your eyes so that you can see yourself the way God sees you, as a son. That you I pray that you're hearing the Lord more and more intimately and with revelation, more than you ever have. If you are, give me a thumbs up. And I bless your lips, that you eat of the fruit of your own lips, as you speak life and peace and goodness and kindness over yourself and your friends and family. So anyway, hopefully that helps you today, gives you a little better insight of the Proverbs. May this word be planted in your heart and begin to grow a harvest of good fruit. In Jesus' name. Talk to you soon. I'm done.